And welcome to episode number 21 of the QCast. Really excited to have my first return guest to the QCast.
Hey,
And this one is timely, folks. Mike Rejniak, the GM and head coach of We Are D3, getting ready to participate in the tournament. We're 2 days away. And, Mike, we talked in May. We did a little bit of a roster reveal. But this is a whole nother deal now. We're 2 days from hashtag game day and starting to get super excited. You're there. How's everything going?
it's been phenomenal. I've never been to Wichita, but I tell you, the people out here are absolutely awesome. The gym we're practicing at, Wichita West, like they don't have gyms like these on the East Coast for sure. Like it's air conditioned. It's got like the drop down scoreboard. It's phenomenal here. We've been really lucky to not only have everybody travel safely here and get here, but the hospitality has been phenomenal, especially here in Wichita. They love their basketball down here. Holy smokes. It is a big deal. So it's pretty cool to be a part of.
And have you been lifting weights? There's weights behind you. I noticed you placed yourself directly with the background of these weights. Are you conveying anything to the crowd here?
No. I wish I had the foresight to do that. It was literally just the quietest spot I could get here in the school. So I wish I had some meaning behind it, but nope, just the only quiet spot.
Had to ask. And of course, we're talking here about the tournament, which is the widely popular annual summer tournament that's like a winner take all $1 million thing. There is so much talent in this tournament across the bracket. It's really pretty amazing. If you go to their website and you look at the rosters of some of the teams and the caliber of players.
Yeah.
And you guys, so We Are D3, Division III basketball nation. We Are D3 represented, and you guys are in the Wichita Regional. And as you mentioned, you're there. Would you just talk a little bit, Mike, about the logistics here? When did the guys arrive, and what have you been doing since you arrived?
Yeah. So originally we found out like over the course of the years of us doing TBT that for us to be successful, we've got to get acclimated, obviously, not only with playing with one another, but also just being in the same spot and getting acclimated to the area. So we traveled in, everybody came in on Saturday evening. We checked into the hotels, all kind of low key. And then we started practice Sunday night, and we've been pretty much practicing straight where in the mornings, we're doing our normal type of drill work and teaching. And in the afternoons, we've been doing more of kind of the up and down scrimmaging types of stuff. So it's been, the guys have been able to do a little bit of sightseeing down here. Wichita, the home of Pizza Hut. I learned that that's a big deal, I guess. But no, it's the guys have been getting acclimated to one another, both on the court and off the court, and then we'll be ready to rock come Friday.
Leave it to a bunch of D3 guys to appreciate Pizza Hut. That's
right.
This is a YD3 moment for sure. So, Mike, you guys are a 14 seed this year, and you're matched up in round one against Team Challenge ALS. Unless something's changed, game time Friday, 6 p.m. Central. And I believe this thing is on ESPN. Is that correct?
Yeah, not the Ocho. No, it's definitely the main gun. So, it's pretty cool. And obviously a great opportunity for our guys. Team Challenge ALS. It's going to be a good battle for sure.
How do you prepare? First of all, let's talk about the opponent for a second, then we'll talk about you guys. But the opponent, I'm guessing it's hard for you. This isn't like a regular Division III situation where you've got all kinds of film on somebody and you got stats. I mean, you just kind of look at their roster. You don't know how they're going to play or their style or who they're going to start. How the heck do you prepare for this game?
We focus on personnel and tendencies. It's not necessarily X's and O's per se, like it is in college, where you kind of know, all right, exactly their sets or things along those lines. Boeheim's Army last go round, that's a unique one because that they're going to run zone. That's just who they've always been. But for Challenge ALS, it's all about knowing personnel, tendencies, do a lot of YouTube watching, a lot of film from what they've done in the past tournaments. So it's a lot of preparation that way, because it's not the X's and O's. It's really these are all phenomenal basketball players, and you're not going to completely shut them down. It's more so, all right, where can we excel in those small margins that will get us the W at the end, and kind of finding those margins defensively, offensively. That's where I found, can win or lose the game.
Interestingly, they have a Division III alum, fairly recent one on their team. So Dante Friga, who's kind of a social media superstar and legend, does some really cool, fun stuff. He's on the team. Dante's from Mount Union, was a great player there. Pretty interesting that We Are D3 gets matched up against a team with a Division III player on it. I
don't think that was by happenstance. I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I don't think that was I personally, I think we're a higher seed, but I think they purposely kind of wanted to see kind of that play out. And it's going to be on ESPN. And I know Devontae has all of his camera crew around, and he's on YouTube and things like that. And he's a great guy, great dude, great basketball player. But I think, my conspiracy theorist in me, that wasn't by mistake.
I think you're probably right. And you're right. Devontae's a super talented player. I watched a lot of games that he played in for Mount Union, where his team did great. He did great. So that's another added drama to this whole thing. Let me just ask about how you prepare internally. You've got 10 guys here that for the most part haven't played together ever before. Always kind of weird when you make an all-star team and you try to put it together and play well. How do you prepare your team to play together in a game that matters a lot like this? And what's the approach?
A lot of playing together. Really we do, what kind of we've gone with the mantra, offensively, we're going to be SEC, simple, efficient, but connected. Simple, efficient, and connected. And I think for us, it's just playing over and over with one another, know when and where people like passes or where their go-to bread and butter is for shots. Defensively, communication. That's for us. It's not I have this team for a whole season. It's basically, all right, let's get kind of the bones established and then let's just come together and play. So Coach Droney and myself, we provide the skeletal structure, and then it kind of morphs as the week kind of progresses. What I drew up on Sunday, and in the month's preparation with Droney, half of that pretty much has been scrapped, just because the guys kind of take it and they kind of morph it to not only their own personal style, but the team style. And that's the toughest thing that you have to do, because you talked about, we have 10 all-stars.
Yeah.
It is really tough to say, all right, these are our starters, because literally everyone is a starter in their own right. It just depends on which way we want to go with this train and matchups and things like that. A lot of it necessarily isn't, talent dictated, because the talent's there. It's more so matchup dictated. And our starting lineup could switch literally right before game time, depending on how they come out. And we can kind of play that chess game. But, it's kind of, we know what we got. And it's a lot of ammo in the chamber. It really is. It is. And the IQ that I've seen demonstrated this week, it is unbelievable. We've had good teams in the past. Like I was really proud of kind of our teams of previous years. But Saban, who was on year one with us, and to see him where he is now, and some of where these players have grown throughout the years, it is like light years. So it's really cool to be able to coach a team at that high IQ of a level, and to also be that talented. It's pretty neat.
We talked in May about how much versatility you had on this team. You have several
Mm-hmm.
guys that can play the 1 or the 2 or the 3. You've got some combo forwards in there.
Yeah.
And so to your point, I mean, really a lot of different combinations. What will dictate the 5 that you trot out there? Are you going to look at, like you just said, are you going to look at who the other guys start and try to match up? Or are you just going to say, this is my best 5, here we go?
Oh, I think like that's kind of what we go back and forth with. Coach Droney and I, do we put all of our firepower, in that first lineup and kind of more of a defensive alignment coming off the bench, or do we go our best defensive lineup and try and slow the game down? So we're still kind of figuring that out. Like we've toyed around with several different lineups, and they're all kind of successful in their own way. Right now, Coach Droney and I are kind of figuring out which way we want to go with it. I do believe, like I said, primarily I'm a defensive coach. That's how I've always kind of worked, even though I really like to fill it up. But, at the end of the day, I'm old school in the fact that you got to get stops. So it's one of those things where we got to have, I think, the appropriate balance, because we can really go completely extreme with just strict offensive firepower, or we can go strictly defensive, versatile, switch 5, shut them down types of stuff. So we're still kind of figuring that out. And it's a lot of, we're scrimmaging, this afternoon, we're scrimmaging tomorrow, a little bit lighter. So we're going to kind of toy around with that as well.
How are the guys approaching this? I'm just curious. There's a lot of eyes on this from the Division III basketball community, and a lot of people that are going to be watching that game and very proud of these guys. And this is going to be a very, very cool thing. What are you feeling from the guys? What does it mean to them?
For them, it means the world. And by that, I mean, like, I don't know about anybody else out there, but this is like the first time D3 players have been on the main stage, ESPN. Like, I mean, yeah, like lacrosse championships, but they're on like ESPN2 or ESPN3. Like, this is the big deal. We've talked about it where kind of, I asked the guys how they feel, and they're obviously excited. It means a lot of the opportunity to represent not only the division, but their respective schools, because they all come from different areas of the country. And I asked them, how many of you are at least nervous a little bit? And I raised my hand. And they all started to raise their hand. There's that tinge of being on edge. And I always say, nerves are good. They keep you frosty. That's been kind of our mantra this week, stay frosty, because it keeps you attention to detail, and having that be on edge just a little bit, that's going to make us be all locked in and ready to go. Because minute you get comfortable or you think you're better than what you are, that's when you get got. And so, like, I think, like, for us, it means the world to them. They're on edge. They just really want to get to Friday night. So it's almost like I'm kind of holding the dogs back, because right now, like, they're itching. They're itching right now. They've seen each other for, 3 days now, 4 days of practice. They want somebody else in front of them.
On social media, you got a couple really cool shout outs from, nationally prominent media members, and the message is kind of like, don't sleep on these guys. And they're genuine notes, they're really, because these guys have seen you play the last couple of years, played very well. I mean, almost knocked off some really good teams. And that's got to be kind of cool for you. I mean, I know that that's a side part of it, but just to see people paying attention to this has to be cool for you in your GM role, right?
I think, like, that's just to be recognized. And it's not about me. It's not about Droney, just to recognize the effort that these guys put in, and the effort and the products that we put on the floor. that's what I take pride in. Like in the fact that our guys play hard, they look coached, organized, and they value the experience. Whereas, not to put down other teams, but I don't necessarily think other teams treat it as such because they're just accustomed to playing on ESPN. They're accustomed to getting the notoriety. But for us, like, we treat it with respect, and it's just nice, very kind words, from, Seth Greenberg and Fran Fraschilla and all that. It's very nice to be recognized that, hey, we're doing things the right way. And to have those people that see it on a daily basis, what wins national championships, to be recognized like that means a lot. And it's a credit to our guys. It really is, because they're the ones giving it all on the court.
Well, I mean, this is just really cool and exciting. And I think all the parts of it, the roster that you've put together, the commitment from the guys, what we're hearing from practice so far this week, those of us that care about Division III basketball are just 100% behind you. We will all be watching. I guess maybe my final question for you is, I know that you're busy, is keys to the game. So keys to Friday's game. What leads to a W on Friday?
I think with us, we have to be efficient offensively. I think in TBT, it's going to come down. That game on Friday is going to come down to one possession. It's going to come down to it. So for us, like, really, we have got to sell out. We don't have as great as we are, we don't have the luxury of taking any plays off. It is such a game of margins. I think we have to value the basketball. It's like prototypical, college basketball stuff where, like, literally we can't turn the ball over. We got to take great shots. We got to know our roles. And like, largely that's kind of what we've been really hammering home this week, is really establishing, all right, this is your role. This is your role in front of the whole group. So they already know, their peers know what's expected of them. They know what we expect out of them as a coaching staff, and they know what to expect out of themselves, because the mantra we've kind of gone with is we want their strengths to be as big as boulders and their weaknesses as small as peas. So my job, we got to put them in situations like that. And it's going to be a battle of the margins. Can't turn the ball over. I felt in the past, the last couple of games where we kind of maybe lost it was our turnovers. Even though we won the turnover battle, the turnovers we led to pick sixes, I call. You take it all the way to the house, and it's just giving away 2 points. We can't have that. I think in terms of just overall rebounding, we've got to be on the boards, and we have the length to do it. They're going to shoot a ton of threes. So, and by that, I mean, their players, Detman, Randall, Marvell, Harris, I can go right on down the line. They all shoot it well from three. And so guards have got to be involved rebounding as well, whereas it's not just necessarily going to be our bigs just rebounding. Guards, if we do it right, you'll see at the end of the game on Friday night that our guards probably are going to be the leading rebounders in that game. Right. So, that's a big key to kind of us being successful. And I mean, the communication's got to be at an all-time high on the court, because it is going to be really loud in Coke Arena. They love basketball here. They're going to pack it for the Wichita game, but they're talking about our game because it's on national TV. That's going to be packed and loud too as well. We might have maybe 5 fans that are we D3 in the arena, and then the rest is going to be Wichita State fans, kind of like what it was in Syracuse. In Syracuse, basically, you have my wife and my best friend and Coach Droney's dad there. And then that was pretty much it in a sea of orange. So I have a feeling we're going to see the same thing come Friday night. But the support from, not to go on a tangent, from D3 Hoops, kind of just nation, from you yourself, from everybody out there, it's just been tremendous. And to have that backing, that gives us all the fuel that we need.
Well, I really can't wait until we talk about the round 2 matchup after
That's
we
right.
win and we get either Team Arkansas or the Fort Worth Funk. And so no time to scout those guys right now.
No.
We need to lock in on Friday. And, Mike, again, everyone's charged up about this. The fact it's on ESPN Friday at 6, perfect time, 6 Central, perfect time that people are available. And
Happy hour. Happy
hour with We Are D3 is going to be exactly what it's going to be. Please pass along to the guys how much this means to all of us. And it's not so much a win-lose thing, prefer win. It's how the guys represent Division III, how hard they play, how smart they play. I have a really good feeling about this, and just can't wait to watch the game. Appreciate everything you're doing. And if you would, pass along to your team how much this means to all of us.
I'll be sure to do so. I mean, they feel the love. They love it, and they're very appreciative of it. And I'll be sure to relay that to them when I see them this afternoon for sure.
Folks, that's Mike Rejniak. He's the GM. He's the head coach of We Are D3, round 1 of the tournament this Friday, 6 p.m. No streams, no buffering. Turn on your TV to ESPN, folks. Very strange for Division III. That's the situation. Mike, thank you so much for joining me today. I know you're busy.
Thank you so much.